So I'm really pleased that we've got Bella Fashola with us today, who is a RMT cleaner at Churchill. Over to you, Bella. Thanks very much for joining us this evening.
The pleasure's all mine, Louise. Thank you so much for inviting me. Obviously, victory to the NEU. I'm sure you'll smash those ballot thresholds. Just to give you a bit of background to those that don't know who Churchill are or what I actually do. So I'm a train cleaner for Churchill Contract Services, outsourced to them through Govia Thameslink Railway. As most outsourced workers, we're on pretty much the bare minimum, no sick pay, no travel facilities, and we're currently on the so-called real living wage, as they call it right now. I've been involved in organising cleaners and colleagues for almost 2 years now. So we beat the ballot threshold back in January last year. We're currently reballoting as we speak. We get our results tomorrow. It's not an easy task, but you can do it, clearly. What I found that really helped us was a lot of hard work, a lot of support. You need a good support network. So just what Phil was saying just now with the call banking is absolutely massive. If you are going to win a ballot, it's huge. So I would advise having Zooms like this weekly whilst you're in the ballot stage. That's massive because obviously you've got teachers all around the country, same way my contract literally goes from Hastings up to Anglia. So have weekly Zoom meetings, sort out some call banking sessions. By mapping, I mean you need all your contract information all there in one with either your membership team or your officer. I'm not too sure how it works in the NEU there, to give you access to that information so you can do the call banking. You can't just do call banking once. We done it 9 times on the first time we beat the ballot. So you do it the first time just as a run round to see how many numbers are actually out of date. You'd be surprised. People change their numbers a lot, sometimes even more than they changed their address in 5 years. It's ridiculous. So you've got to call them about 9 times. Keep a log of what you're doing. I use a Google spreadsheet. You can lock the Google spreadsheet as well to keep it confidential. So you record your calls. If someone didn't answer, you put NA, leave the date that you called them, you call them back in another 2 days' time. If it's gone to voicemail, you put that there with the date voicemail. You get someone else to call them back in another 2 days' time until people have answered. You keep calling and calling and calling. There's also a system called Through Text. I don't think it's very popular in the range of work that I do. Unfortunately, most of the cleaners can't read or write, so the call banking proved more effective. You can also do videos to the staff members, because obviously social media is a big one now, so you can get it out to people with a clear message. For the non-members, it was easier to get them involved when they started seeing our actions, when they started seeing us come into their site, speaking to the other cleaners face to face, giving them information, helping them in any way that we can while we're there. We started doing a petition saying about our demands. So this petition was for both RMT members and non-members, so both could sign it. A lot of the time you get hostile members who don't really want to talk to the RMT or the union that's going in there, but they're more than happy to sign a petition saying that they want a pay rise, they want sick pay and they want travel. And so, right, that's what they should use, that anger, to get involved. You've got to engage with the members, not just through what you're trying to do in your fight, in their day-to-day life. A lot of people are in real detriment when they go home of a day. So even if you can put them aside and speak to them for an hour about something that's not union related, it means the world to them. And they will be the same people standing by your side on the picket line. They will be your support network the same way that you're going to be theirs. It means a lot to them. Building a network, you need reps. Reps are your main point of contact. In places where you can't get a rep, you can still have a point of contact, just someone you can call up to see what's going on, have people receive their ballot papers, because you don't, even though you want to call people 9 times, you don't want to harass someone after they've already voted and then you call them the next day, someone calls them the day after that. So just to keep on top of it, you need a point of contact or a rep at that location. In the NEU, I would assume it's probably a lot easier than organising grades within the transport sector. because you all know your struggles. So I found it a lot easier for me to go and speak from train cleaner to train cleaner to actually engage with them, rather than someone who's not necessarily of their grade, trying to understand their problems, but not always getting the full picture. Like for me, it was a lot easier for me to go up to a cleaner and say, like, I know your struggles. I know that our pay slips are so unpredictable to read. You can't tell when you're being underpaid, just a little thing. So they know where you're coming from, basically. To maintain the energy was definitely through site visits. It's not always easy to do that because of obviously the scope of locations that you're trying to cover. That's why you've got to have a good team. My contract's 48 different sites on the rail network. So there are some sites I've never ever been to, but I've got a great point of contact at the sites that I haven't, and I will hold weekly Zoom meetings with them, or even just a quick phone call to see how they're doing. Also introducing members to other grades, that's more rail sector related, but I'm sure in the NEU you have members who don't necessarily want to be reps, but are more than happy to sit and have people's back when push comes to shove, if they need a disciplinary help or anything in the workplace. You've got to remind people what your fight's about. Like Phil said, people are going to come to you and say, look, I can't afford it. I don't always feel the best response is you can't afford not to. You've got to really, really break it down to them. Someone I was on a meeting with the other night really broke it down to them. When you get the propaganda from the media saying that you're going to make children struggle to go out on strike, don't believe it. How much are the children struggling right now? Because there's not enough funding for books. There's not enough funding to feed them properly. I've seen the stories like all of us, dinner ladies crying their eyes out because they haven't refused children's school meals. It's absolutely disgusting. Some schools haven't got proper heating. Is that the teacher's fault? No, because I'm sure every single teacher that's on here right now spends more than their working hours trying to help the children. So the best thing you can do for these kids in the long run is get on that picket line, vote yes in your ballot, and sort the problem once and for all. With me. Next steps. So the next.
Oh, Bella, I think you've muted yourself there. Sorry, you were just about to say next steps.
Sorry. The next steps in the campaign, it's got to be a big network. So obviously the NEU is massive. So for us, we're doing a national cleaners campaign. You guys are going to have your strikes and it's going to be absolutely epic, but you've got to also join up, as I'm sure you know, with other unions. I know technically we're not supposed to strike on the same day or whatever, but we all have boardrooms where we just pick random dates, so anything can happen. I'm just putting that out there. So on my contract, it started off with 5. I think it's now 12 contracts that we're taking out with us. And that's all going to be coordinated action between the cleaning contracts and the rail sector to make mass effect. We will also be joining the GMB, like we've joined the CWU in previous times, as they are holding a rally on the 10th of December, an end to outsourcing rally. Obviously, if any of you can come along to that, that would be grand. And when it comes to your time of picketing, I can assure you there will be RMT members on every single one of them in full support. So thank you for having me on here today. Victory to the NEU, victory to the RMT, solidarity.
Brilliant. Thanks ever so much, Bella.